Greetings ladies and gentlefish, and welcome to another pair of subscriber replays. These have something in common, but we'll get to what that is in a bit. We're kicking off proceedings with My Name is Puffs. Haven't seen him in a while, and he is driving the Tier 8 German SPG, the GW Tiger P. Now, Puffs is a very decent player, but he is not above scumbagging it up occasionally. And right off the bat, this is before team damage was no longer a thing, we can see the Type 5 Heavy on the friendly team giving him a little love bump because he wasn't paying attention where he's going and doing 11 damage. Rock and roll. Anyway, we're here on Cliff. We seem to have been on Cliff quite a lot lately. And you can see that whilst Puffs has absolutely no problem scumbagging it up, he doesn't completely scumbag it up. He's not firing any premium high explosive ammo, which is just flat out better than regular high explosive ammo. Sorry, special high explosive ammo. He's firing good old-fashioned regular HE. And he's going to try and see what he can do to the enemy team. This is a tier 10 match, by the way. So, Puff's in a tier 8. He is technically at the bottom. Ooh, that looked like it was a direct hit. No splash there, no explosion. Because if the enemy tank is hidden, because it won't render the tank, it also won't render any explosion emanating from the tank. But if the tank is not hit, then you will still see the explosion of the shell. So if you ever blind fire at someone and you don't see an explosion, you've hit them or someone nearby maybe. You've hit something. Anyway, so first hit looked like a direct hit. See what we can do second. He's just trying to load the gun. Ooh, hello Type 5 Harry, how are you today? 388 damage, 420 on stunning, nice. And you can see Puffs is relocating ever so slightly every time. He doesn't want to get counter-batteried by the M40, M43. That would make him quite sad. If you have a look at the map though, you might have noticed that the friendly tanks have kind of clustered down the corridor of failure. So the 1 and 2 lines on this map are kind of a corridor that is the shortest geographical route between the two bases, but because they're in the low ground, they tend to run the risk of getting flanking fire and it all gets a little bit messy. So really you generally want to be more fighting for the higher ground in my experience, and the enemy team seems to have committed more to that fight than the friendly team. And oh, that was a lovely double hit there. Doing a total of, well, almost 700 damage to those two tanks. Very nice indeed. Split over the two, but I'm just sort of combining it together. But a very, very long reload here. And you can see actually over at G7 what I was saying earlier on. Like, the enemy are just there, essentially uncontested. That Skoda and, what is that? Is that an Object 268 that are chilling? Or not chilling, but at F sort of 5 region are looking like they might be encircled. And so Puffs is trying to give them some support again. That looks like a twofer, very nice. We don't see what the damage count is on the other tank because he wasn't visible at the time, but that looked like a very nice shot there from Puffs. And the Skoda goes down. That just leaves that Object 268. He's technically got a Scorpion up on the high ground for support, but tier 10 match, and they're facing off against at least a Batchat 25T, a T10, a Progetto 46, an E75, and a Foch 155. You don't see the Foch 155 very much these days. That's the old tier 10 French tank destroyer. So the only people who have it are people who had it before they swapped it out for the Foch B. Seeing if he can get a shot on this Progetto here. I think it's going to be a little bit tricky though. Although the guy's on 13 health, he really doesn't want this Progetto flanking the Object 268. And there's a kill on the Progetto. Just as he kills the Progetto, you can hear in the background my delightful little daughter voicing her displeasure at well, I guess the Progetto. Unfortunately, the Object 268 does go down, and so does the friendly IS-6. And now the friendly team's in the really awkward position that because they didn't invest tanks into the high ground, that has allowed the enemy to essentially encircle them, and so those guys who are in the low ground can get shot up from all of the directions, and that's kind of gonna suck. Ooh, 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 that was a twofer. That's a Bombardier's award right off the bat. Very nice. Apparently my daughter is going over there and wants to play World of Tanks Rush, which for anyone who doesn't know is a board game that the company released, and I was actually bought for Christmas, I think, one year. Well, I guess at least she's in the right ballpark, right? So, lovely double kill there from Puffs. He has the highest kill count on his team and is the only living tank with any kills. Yeah, that's going to fill you full of joy. Enemy Type 5 Heavy is duking out with the friendly Type 4 Heavy, and there's an Udes, yeah. And that's 321 damage on said Udes. Now, you might have noticed, by the way, that on this machine, Puffs doesn't get that much ammunition. So there is the very real risk, in a situation like this, where he's essentially firing every time he's loaded, you can run out of ammo in a long game. The game's about 5 minutes old, and he's burned through about half, roughly, just under half of his ammunition. Lining up a shot on this object 705 now, who appears to be side-scraping against a tank that is probably firing HE. That's never going to work very well, is it? And he's not even side-scraping with a particularly good angle, and Puffs just takes a shot, actually at the Type 5 Heavy. Ooh, 470 damage, plus some on the stunning afterwards, which chips that guy down in total by around about 600 hit points, a little bit over. Type 4 Heavy is in a whole world of hurt now on 2 hit points, but to be fair, the friendly team have clawed it back a little bit, just as I say that the Type 4 dies, so that the score lines were a bit more even. But if we look at what both teams have available, Puff's team, well, no, to be fair, both teams are mainly made up of tier 8s. So, this isn't over, but the friendly team are definitely on the back foot. Oh, and with the death of that AMX, that's really looking quite nasty. It would be quite nice if Puffs could do a lot of damage to this object. Someone just put a nice big hit onto him there. 329! Oh dear. I mean, that is a nice hit, but didn't kill him. And Puffs, of course, now has this long reload. The replay isn't showing what the reload timer is, but I would guess it's probably of the order of 40 odd seconds, something like that. Would be my best guess. Anyway, so Object 705 is on low health, we know that. Type 5 is not looking particularly clever either, we know that. Stritzvan did take a hit earlier on, though we don't know exactly how much health he's on. IS-3 has been spotted. Oh, there's the Stritzvan, just as I... Ooh, did the Stritzvan... Oh, it was the Udes, sorry, who took a hit earlier on. My bad, I do get sometimes these Swedish tank destroyers a little bit muddled. Yeah, we're going to see how this is going to pan out. Now, Puffs only has 6 shots remaining, which, well, maybe that could start becoming a bit of a problem. Type 5 Heavy now is, well, leaving himself a pretty easy shot for artillery, so it'd be rude not to, and there we go. It's only 31 damage, but killing the last tier 10 on the enemy team, yeah, that's worth it. Puffs, of course, now is down to 5 shells. He's up to, I'd like to point out, that we've seen 2.9k damage, but we know the damage count is actually higher than that because we know he has some damage on tanks that were not visible at the time. Also got 750 damage caused after Puffs stunned them, which is nice. And he's just letting his enemy team, just letting the friendly team know that he's only got 5 shells left. Now, this is actually kinda close. Puffs is just keeping an eye out for the enemy artillery. As the Type did just say roughly where he was, the friendly team just lost the Type 5 to the Udes. Those Swedish tank destroyers do have some pretty impressive penetration. Ooh, Object 705. And now the Type 5 Heavy's chipping in, trying to let Puffs know where artillery is. Meanwhile, Puffs is trying to see if he can squeeze in a shot on this object. Oh, if the object's going to go back, yeah, there we go. That's kill number 5 in an artillery piece. But he's down to 4 rounds of ammunition remaining. At least the friendly team is kind of going nicely done, Artie. It's nice to see that they're supporting Puffs' efforts here. Right. So, what have we got next? This is the battle of the tier 8s. All the tier 9s, all the tier 10s have gone to a better place. This is tier 8 central. Now we know the Stritzvan is basically on full health, or very close to. We know the Udes, it has been beat up a bit. The friendly Jagdpanther 2 just took a bit of a battering, which is a problem. He's presumably being spotted, or the artillery's blind firing him, one or the other. And we have a lull in the action. And you tend to get this in close games like this. I'm kind of half surprised the enemy artillery hasn't tried to shoot Puffs out, because it's not as if Puff's location is that sneaky. I mean, the GW Tiger P is a slow machine. You can't stray too far with it. I don't mean that as a criticism for Puffs, but kind of surprised the M4043 hasn't tried his luck yet. Oh well. Puffs unfortunately doesn't have a clean shot on this IS-3, and if he moves out to try and get a shot, there's a very good chance he'll be spotted, but the Stritzwang shuts the IS-3 down, but the enemy UDES shuts down the Stritzwang. And so there's still one kill in it. 2 tanks left alive on the friendly team. One, of course, is Puffs in his GW Tiger P, and one is that friendly Jagdpanther 2. Now, this is awkward. The 2 Swedish tank destroyers are going to have the advantage here because of their stealth. And there we go. The Jagdpanther 2 is many things, but it's not the stealthiest TD in the world. So that leaves Puffs alone against 3 enemy tanks. The question is, can he carry this game? He's only got 4 shots, so he needs to make these shots count. This is going to be dicey, because realistically he's going to need a pen, probably, on that S1. Hello S1, speak of the devil. Because that S1 is just on so much health. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, nice shot, nice hit, but it's not a penetration. It's only 573 damage, which is a lot, but that means it would take, even disregarding the enemy now trying to kill Puffs because they know where he is, that would take at least 1 more shot to kill the Stritzwang S1, which means he then only has 2 shells remaining for the 2 enemy tanks. This is looking unlikely. Now, Puffs is actually reloading, but the Stritzwang is able to find out a shot on the back of his tank, and actually it looks like the friendly UDES, maybe? Shoots their own S1 right at the end there, but whatever. Either way, unlucky there for Puffs, unfortunate. He did the best he could. He was essentially firing the gun every single time it reloaded. Just couldn't pump the damage out. Artillery does not have high DPM. Anyway, let's look at the post-game stats for this game. Painful result there. That was actually enough for Puff's 2nd mark of excellence in the GW Tiger P. Ooh, a little bit of a scumbag there. Ace Tanker, Bruiser, Fighter. Believe that's a Gauze medal for picking up damage exceeding 10 times the hit points of your vehicle in an SPG and not shooting a friendly. Very nicely done. And of course that Bombardier for picking up the 2 kills with 1 shot. Actually ended up being 4,384 damage done by his tier 8 artillery piece in, of course, a tier 10 game. 5 kills, 867 base experience. It was a defeat at the end of the day. And just out of curiosity, did that UDES really shoot the Stritzwang? Yes, he did. UDES shot his teammate. Go figure. The enemy team was just more consistent across the board, if we're going to be honest. You know. And really, that was the battle of the tier 8s. GW Tiger P at the top on Puff's team, UDES at the top on the enemy team. The tier 10s, like, don't get me wrong, the type 5s had respectable games. The Object 268 actually did very well on Puff's team, considering how early on he died. It's quite a lot of damage downrange. Anyway, it is what it is. 12 shots fired, 10 hits, 10 pens, 6 splash. For that damage count, most of which was from more than 300 meters, kind of obviously he's in an artillery piece. 1 direct hit received, it penetrated, he went splat. 10 enemy vehicles damaged, 5 destroyed, 715 damage from stunning, 11 stuns caused, not far travelled because, hey, GW Tiger P. And a loss with a standard account shouldn't come as a huge surprise. Anyway, that's the first game. Unfortunately, Puffs wasn't able to pull a win out of the bag there, but let's go and see if we can have a slightly better result in the second match. Match number 2 then, and we join Panties in the Oho, and he's platooned up with Chaos Raven in the STA-1. And you might be looking at this going, what on earth You said, Chip, that there would be something in common with these two tanks. And what was the OHO and the GW Tiger P got in common? Well, they're both really heavy, they're really sluggish, and they're both packing an enormous howitzer. This is, of course, the 15cm howitzer that Panties is using here on the OHO. It's hilarious when used on the OI Experimental at Tier 6, basically a very similar gun anyway, used on the KV2 at Tier 6, and it's still effective here at Tier 8. That's quite oh no, that position can work, I guess, for artillery. Anyway, we are here on Steps. This is a Tier 9 match, so the matchmaking could be better, could be worse. Hello, Mr... Was that a T10? Nope, that was an Alpine Tiger. Oh, you don't see them very often. And that shot damages him, takes his tracks off, and he really should have used a repair kit there, but because he is having a whole bad day. Oh, there we go again. Damage, and there's his track again. Yeah, really, you don't want to be there, mate. You really don't want to be there. He manages to get into cover, but not before losing 900 of his health. And the enemy team have managed to make it into that position where the IS-6 is, which is how this map usually pans out. This is an encounter game, by the way, so the capture circle is over on the other side of the map, and Chaos Raven is actually heading over in that direction. But you do generally find that some of the heavier tanks tend to kind of chill over on this flank, despite the fact that, well, even if you win this flank, you really need to push it hard in order to get to the capture circle in this game mode. But not to worry. Oh, a little bit of hesitation there. Arguably cost Panties the shot on either of those tanks. But then again, you could argue they actually pulled back, perhaps before he was really reloaded. Hello, Mr. Chrysler. Oh, there's a shot. Where does that pen Panties? He's in quite a heavily armoured tank, probably in the side. We can't actually see. But the way Panties is having to angle his tank here against multiple opponents, yeah, it probably hit him in the side. It's a little bit awkward there, but it is what it is. There goes the Alpine Tiger as the Tiger 2 finally does the business and takes him out. And that HE round misses. Just lost the Scorpion G, though, on the friendly team. And you can see Panties loadout here. He does have a few AP rounds. He does have a few heat rounds, is that, I think? Yeah. And the rest is good old-fashioned high explosive. Does take a hit there from artillery, which stuns him, which is kind of suboptimal. Hello, Mr. 59 pattern. That probably wasn't what you wanted to be doing, if we're being honest. Oh, takes his track out as well. That's a lot of damage done to that guy with his track knocked off, and he is done. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So, Chaos Ravens letting the team know there's an Object 704 over in that sort of A7 location. There goes the friendly 252U, which is a little bit of a shame. Killed by an IS-6 of all things, which is interesting because the 252U has pretty good armour and the IS-6 has a pretty dubious gun. But hey ho, maybe the guy was showing him his side or something. Speaking of people taking damage, hello IS-6, boom, right to the face. And you can see here that even though this gun is used on the Tier 6, it is still a perfectly viable weapon here at Tier 8. You just don't really give people the time to aim at you, pull out, derp them in the face, and pull back. To be honest, when I eventually get round to going up the Japanese heavy tank line, this is probably the gun I'm going to end up using, I reckon. Unfortunately, this is going a little bit south for the friendly team. They just lost a whole slew of tanks on the other flank, and the capture circle is firmly in enemy hands. If the enemy decide to sit in the capture circle at this point, this game possibly over. Although one tank, it will take them 4 minutes to cap, 3 tanks will take them much less time. Who have we got over here? Hello, Mr. Chrysler, how are you today? You're not doing very well, are you, when you become Panty's first kill? HE round on the turret does the business to him, and suddenly this IS-6 has run out of friends and he's wondering what he did to deserve this, and he just does not have the gun to deal with an OHO. But apparently the HE round there from Panty's gun didn't do a great deal of much to the IS-6 anyway, just blew his track out. So waiting for the reload here and trying to get a relatively poorly armoured surface maybe, but yeah, there's not really much point in doing too much aiming. But there we go, Good bit of damage on the IS-6 there, and with any luck, Panties should be able to finish this guy off with his next round. The IS-6 actually manages to penetrate that. I should point out he's firing gold at this point. Can't blame him. The Oho is a very tough machine, and the IS-6 is not well equipped to deal with it. Even then, of the last, well, 1, 2, 3, 4 shots fired at the Oho from that, sorry. 1, 2, 3, well, 5 shots fired, 1 is regular AP, the rest were APCR, 1 penetrated. So, yeah. Now, Panties is down to 506 hit points, reading fail. And Pansy appears to be lining up, oh no, oh yes, lining up a blind shot there to see if he can do something about anyone over there, and actually manages to nail the artillery with a wonderful little blind shot. Very well done to him. Oh, going for another blind shot, but it doesn't nail the Scorpion. Friendly team is 11-9 up now, and the enemy team might now be wishing that they'd just capped this out. Having said that, 2 minutes 30 until they will cap it out anyway. There's only one guy in the capture circle, but they're kind of running out of team to defend the capture circle, to be honest. Scorpion G, Scorpion G. Oh no, artillery's all over him. Panties goes for a shot, but it's just not really working. I am actually going to speed this along a little bit because fast the Oho is not. And we do have to be careful about the Object 704. High penetration on that gun. Scorpion G, especially if he decides to load gold ammo. T-28 prototype. In fact, actually, given there's only 4 tanks on the enemy team, Panties really has to be worried about a respectable number of them because, well, they're tank destroyers, and there goes the Scorpion G. And you might be able to hear my delightful daughter in the background just to really add insult to injury. What on earth is Loki doing with her? Never mind. Panties is motoring over to the capture circle here. Twice the speed he normally would because, let's make it 4 times the speed. Trying to get back into the action here. There's only the 3 of them left, 2 of them left, 1 of them left. Come on, Pansy. Oh no, 293 leaves the guy on 39 health. Ram him, ram him. No! The friendly artillery actually claims that kill. God damn it. Damn you, Artie! But there we go. That was the match. So, let's go and have a look at the post-game stats for this one. So that was enough for Ace Tanker, Bruiser, Shellproof, Duelist, Fire for Effect, and, I mean, it's a Japanese heavy tank, the almost obligatory Steel Wall. Panties actually managed their 3,773 damage, 3 kills, 1,478 base experience. Shout out should also go to some other players. The friendly Rheinmetall Borsig, 3.7k damage, good effort from him. The friendly Stritzwang 103, 2.6k damage, not too bad there. 50 TP, 2.3k damage, well done. So it's not just Panties there, but he did very much lead the charge. On the enemy team, commiseration should go to that Object 704, just shy of 3,000 damage. No kills, but just shy of 3,000 damage, but not enough for his team. And the Chrysler, 2.2k. With that rubbish little gun in a tier 9 match, that is not too bad at all. But not enough for the win there. 17 shots fired, 14 hits, 13. Well, it says pens, but it's HE, so that's module damage. Panties didn't actually pen anyone except possibly that artillery. Out of curiosity, how much damage did he do to that arty? Yeah, it's a one shot. Yeah, that's left a mark. 3 splash damage as well from not even hitting them for that damage count. Most of it was from close range, apart from that one shot on the artillery from a long way away. 12 hits received, 4 penned, 8 didn't, for 3.2k blocked by Panties armour. 7 vehicles damaged, 3 destroyed, 1.3k assistance damage, 1.87 kilometres travelled, and even with a standard account, 45,000 credits. Although I should point out, that was with a personal reserve running at the time that added like 22,000 credits to that count. With a premium account, that would have been, what, 77,500 credits, and a nice amount of experience. So there we go. I hope you guys enjoyed those 2 subscriber replays there. If you did, by all means, feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel. You can submit your own subscriber replays by going to whatreplays.com, uploading your replay, and then getting the URL to me. The easiest way is probably on the Discord server. If I remember, I will try and throw a link to it in the description of this video, which those of you who are nice and early to it should be able to catch. And if I don't remember, well, I don't. You can always put video links in comments as well, and if you're lucky, I guess I'll see and try and do something with it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you in another video. Ciao, ciao.